This is Prasanjit Gupta, aka PG, author, life transformation coach, presentation and passion preneur. Well, today we have got a very special guest. He is the founder of Hariharan School of Success Education. He is known as Enter Trainer, a very new word, and he is a coach from Ascentive. He is changing and motivating the lives of thousands of people on the regular basis. So, without wasting a moment, let's welcome our special guest Mr. Hariharan Iyer. So, Mr. Hariharan, welcome to the show, the PG Show.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm really glad that you came to our show and you are giving your valuable time. We have got lots of questions today. You know that how to deal with difficult people, how to release our stress from Reiki, because you are a Reiki expert also.
Right.
So we have got multiple questions on that. But before we jump into the different questions, we would love to know how you started your journey as a coach.
Okay. So first of all, PG, I want to thank you for inviting me. And it is an honor that you have given me a platform and you've given me an opportunity to share some thoughts with all of you. And thank you for your patience. I know we've gone a little back and forth. It's been a little challenge from my side, but thank you so much for your patience. So my journey started in 2009 as an entrepreneur. When I set up Hariharan School of Success Education, HSSE, as we call it in short. And it's been a fascinating 11 years of entrepreneurship, evolution. I would say it's been a fascinating journey of evolving myself from an employed corporate professional to what I would call myself as a decent entrepreneur now. And it's been a great learning experience. And in between, authorship happened. I could write 7 books. But I'm actually an ex-journalist, so there is a writer in me always. Then went to America in 2017 to get certified for Ascentive's Behavior Styles Workshop. So one lot of beautiful things happened in these 11 years. A lot of challenges. Uh, as it happens in entrepreneurship, there are always ups and downs, but it's been a beautiful journey. And now the opportunity to impact so many people across the country and the world. So that's how it is. So I left a decent corporate career because I had some vision, some plans in life that I wanted to do something by myself. So it all started in 2009.
Wow, super! Such a beautiful journey. You are living on a daily basis. I'm really glad to know about that. So you have got
Yeah,
a very good
God's
experience
grace,
of
absolutely.
entrepreneurship,
Yes,
a very good experience of dealing with different kind of people. So my first question is
right.
how to deal with difficult people, because this is the major challenge when every
Yeah,
entrepreneur is facing, or every solopreneur is also facing in the today's world, right? So you are an expert.
right.
So please guide it to our viewers how they can deal with difficult people.
Okay, so my wife finds me extremely difficult. So I'm the first difficult person within the family, and I'm sure every wife finds her husband very difficult. So I think one of the most critical things to understand when you're dealing with different difficult people is, and there are so many different kinds of difficult people. First of all, we need to acknowledge and ask ourselves, am I a difficult person to deal with? Very often, we externalize our problems in life, but we don't realize that we ourselves could be that problem. So am I difficult to deal with? Am I a good listener? Do I take feedback? Do I listen to inputs? Do I behave in certain ways which are not really, always good? Uh, do I have some very divergent views, and I'm not ready to acknowledge the views of other people? So I think it all begins with us, and each one of us is difficult in our own ways, and nobody is easy to deal with. And that's what makes human relationships fascinating, also very complex. So uh, so so is there a formula, is there a way to kind of work around dealing with different kinds of people, or And I think every person is difficult in his or her own ways. And it also depends on your personal equations. I may find somebody very difficult to deal with, but I may not find somebody else very difficult to deal with. I may have a greater level of compatibility. There could be various reasons. PG, one of the greatest challenges of being a human being is we are highly unpredictable and we are complex in our own ways. And moment you think you have understood human nature, suddenly something will happen and it will overturn all your judgments and beliefs about human behavior.
True.
But if you were to look at some kind of a formula, and I think when I did the behavior styles workshop from Ascentive, it was a fascinating experience. It taught me that there are 4 different types of people. There is a go-getter, there is a promoter, there is a nurturer, and there is an examiner. Now, each of these people have their own different behavior styles.
Okay.
So it really helps me now. Forget about me conducting a workshop or not around that, but it helps me to apply it in my own life, because I know who I am out of those 4 quadrants, out of those 4 types, who I am, and what are the characteristics of people like me, and what are the characteristics of the other 3 types of people. So how I need to adapt myself. Success comes from happiness. If you are happy, you will be successful. That's the first principle that we need to practice in life.
Okay.
Second, in terms of Reiki, I started practicing Reiki in 1993. And 4 years before that, in 1989, I started practicing meditation. So I have been a Reiki and a meditator for last almost more than 30 years now. And it's the most important thing in my life. Everything else is secondary. Because if I don't do my morning meditation, it does not give me the rhythm for the day. It's just a habit that's been formed. So in Reiki, we teach meditation.
Okay.
So there's a very simple 15-20 minutes of white light meditation that we teach. And we also teach self-healing.
Okay.
So how can you use your palms to give healing to your own self? It's a way of loving yourself. And I think if we love ourselves more, there'll be little less stress in life, because we expect too much from others. But I need to love myself more, because I think I'm good the way I am. I can be better, but that's fine. But I'm definitely good the way I am. I need to accept myself the way I am. And a lot of stress comes from comparisons. If I'm an entrepreneur, I'm comparing myself with somebody who's more successful than me. If I'm a corporate guy, I'm comparing myself with somebody who's got a better position than me. There is no end to it. There's absolutely no end to it. Why not compare my sorrow with somebody else's sorrow? His sorrow. There are so many people who have got more problems than me in life. I think I need to be grateful. Right? So I think these are some of the tips. Stress management itself is a pretty interesting and a deep subject. But I think, like Oscar Wilde said, to love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. So love yourself and just be fine the way you are. So I think these are some, and practice meditation. Learn meditation. Could be any system that works for you, but learn to meditate, because like your body needs food, your mind needs calmness. It needs focus, and that comes only through meditation.
True, absolutely correct, and very beautifully said. You have, given so many tips in a single answer. That meditation I also believe, and I always say that meditation is a shortcut, or the spiritualism shortcut to happiness and success. And I can relate one phrase, there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the only way to everything. So you very well said like that, that happiness does not come by achieving anything. You become happy and then you will achieve everything. It's straight and simple. All right. So, Mr. Hariharan, you have written a couple of books. In one of the book I was reading, and you have mentioned about some of the life-changing principles Right.
Right.
So please share some of the life-changing principles to our viewers who can, who are really willing to transform their life so that they can use your tips, which is being given in your book, and they can transform their
Right.
life.
So one, as I just said, one is love yourself. Uh, if you love yourself, you are well, then you feel very connected with yourself. And there are so many reasons to love ourselves. We are we are leading good lives. We are we have talents, we have capabilities, we have a lot of things that are working for us. We have done so many good things in life. So first is to love yourself. Second is uh, got to have a spiritual perspective. We all have some or the other perspective, whether it could be an intellectual perspective, it could be a professional perspective. What is perspective? It's nothing but the way you look at life. But I think you got to have a spiritual perspective. The reason you need to have a spiritual perspective is none of us are going to exist in this world forever. One day we will all go. So when you know you are a passenger and you are just landed in one of those stations or airports and you're going to be there for some time and then you're going to move on, you've got to define a purpose for yourself. There is a reason why you got off that train, to use a metaphor. So Earth is like a train, you just got off it and you're going to spend some time here. It's like a boarding and lodging facility which are going to be there temporarily. So what is the purpose of life? Is the purpose of life be born, go to school, get older, get married, have kids, then retire one day and then die? I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't work so simple. There are so many shades of gray and other colors that happen during this whole phase. So all this is part of life. You will have relationships, you'll get married, you'll have kids, you'll have a family. All this is part of life. But that's not the purpose of life. The purpose of life is to make a contribution to other people, to your family, and then to the larger family, which is the world itself. So I don't think my family is only my wife and my daughter, or my mother, my brothers, family, so on and so forth, or my relatives. The whole world is my family. PG, you are part of my family. That's why you invited me. I'm uh, I am part of your family. That's why we are talking to each other. So there is a connection.
True.
So how can I make a contribution to somebody's life? How can I make it slightly better through my unique contribution? What I call as becoming a Dena bank and not a Lena bank. How can I become a Dena bank? One more thing which I would urge people to practice in life is, which is one of the very important principles I write in my book called Honey, I Love Money, Success and You. Practice passive attachment and active detachment. But what happens is we are actively attached and passively detached. It should be the other way around.
Okay.
And when will that happen? When I think that my family is not the only family. The people I train, the people I interact with, the people I work with, my learners who come to me, the people I go to learn from, they are all part of a larger family in my life. So practice passive attachment and active detachment. Attachment cannot be avoided. Obviously, you will be attached to your family, but then you can reduce the intensity of it and increase the intensity of the detachment that you have and have a larger attachment to a larger concept of life. So I think when we start living that kind of a life, it becomes far more fulfilling. Then it's not just about I, me, and myself. It's not just about my achievements. It's about leaving a small legacy when I leave the world. What will I leave when I leave is a very important principle in life. What will I leave when I leave?
Wow.
And I tell parents, can you just create a better citizen out of your child? that is also a legacy, because the child will live on after you, and the child will imbibe those qualities and create better children again. So that itself, so parenting itself is a big legacy that we can leave for the world. You don't have to build big business empires and call that a legacy. Just do good upbringing of your children, give them the right value systems. I think we have lived our life.
True.
That itself is enough.
True, absolutely right. Very, very well said, and very beautifully you have framed that phrase. When I leave, what will I leave? And I
Yeah,
also believe in the same thing. What exactly we are gonna gift, to our next generation, to our upcoming generation. That's the main life we are
absolutely.
living. If we are able to give something, a beautiful gift, if we will able to create a beautiful society where our children can live, you know that
Right.
that that's the main gift we can give to our children and to the world. All right, you are also a sales expert, so like what is the secret of transforming a novice to a secret expert, to a sales expert?
I think it's a very interesting question, and I wish I had a full day to talk about it, because sales is something very close to my heart. Uh, because that's what I do every day. Though I'm an entertainer and I'm a professional speaker and a trainer and all that, end of the day, I need to get audience to listen to me. So I need to sell. I need to sell myself. I need to sell my courses. I need to sell my organization, the brand, so on and so forth. So every person is a salesperson, whether they are professionally into selling or they are not into selling. But we are all selling something or the other all the time. A mother tells a small kid, you know, if you get good marks this time, I will take you on that little picnic to that amusement park. That's a sale.
True, that's a sale, right?
It's a sales pitch. Yet, if I were to go and tell this, so many of these mothers, that you are so good in a certain talent, maybe you are a good painter, singer, dancer, cook, whatever, why don't you monetize this by learning selling? They would say, no, 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 I am not a salesperson. I can't sell. If you can get me customers, I'll happily sell my products to them. I said, no. Everybody has a sales challenge, PG,
True.
including the biggest companies in this world, whether it's a Reliance or a Tata or a Birla, whatever, or it's HSSE or it is PG Corporation, whatever it is, everybody has a sales challenge. So, first of all, we've got to recognize that nobody is a non-salesperson. Everybody is a salesperson. And without buying and selling transactions, this world cannot move. Why are we in an economic depression today? Because the buying and selling process has got affected. There is not enough people selling. There are not enough people buying. So demand and supply has got affected. It's a foundation of life. You get up in the morning and you experience sales first thing in the morning, because there is a milkman who delivers milk to you. He sold you the milk, you bought the milk. Your day begins with sales and with buying. So how can we not be a salesperson? So what do you need to do is, first of all, you got to recognize this, that everybody is a salesperson. Second, it's possible to become a good salesperson. It's possible to learn. Nobody is a born sales guy. Nobody is a born sales expert. You can become good at it. You can learn it. You can learn leadership. You can learn public speaking. You can learn communication. I was a very shy child. Today I'm a motivational speaker. I mean, my parents wouldn't ever believe at that point that this guy will grow up and become a speaker. You know, पैसे देने पड़ते थे कि भाई कुछ बोल. It's so, and things अब उल्टा है. So the point here is, everything is learnable. Many of the things in life are learnable. So sales can be learned, and we conduct sales courses. I have done so many sales workshops for various organizations, done sales motivation sessions, sales training sessions. It's a process. You learn the process, you execute the process, and everybody can learn sales. No big deal, provided they're willing to learn.
Wow, fantastic. So the main thing is that everybody is a salesperson. The main takeaway, and like you need to recognize, like we are doing sale, we are selling every our thoughts, our ideas, and we are doing transaction on a regular basis, whether it's
Absolutely.
be financial or whether it's be give and take of an idea or conversation, something like that. That is also a sale,
Absolutely.
right? But we are doing it unknowingly or subconsciously.
Yes.
Now we need to do it
Correct.
consciously, and when we do consciously anything, it becomes more valuable. And Mr. Hariharan is
Absolutely.
there to teach the sales techniques, definitely. So if anyone would love to learn more, they can be in touch with him and can learn more about the sales and all right. So our next question is how to boost sales in business. The sales which you have told, that is on the personal level, that everybody is a salesperson. Suppose I'm an
Right.
entrepreneur, okay, and now I need to boost my sales. So what techniques should I apply in this one?
So more than the technique, for me, the way I look at it is, and I think every good trained entrepreneur would say this. Uh, what's the philosophy of your organization? Is it just that you entered into business because you want to sell something, you want to make money, or you entered into business because you want to make a difference? And I think I come from an insurance sales training background. So I worked for a life insurance company for 5.5 years, where our main job was to train the agents to sell. And there I picked up a wonderful line which said, always put the mission before the commission. So there is a word commission. Within that, there is a word hidden, which is called mission. So he said, put the mission before the commission. Sales is just a remarkable effect or a consequence of your mission. If my mission is to transform lives in my own unique way, like my mission is to help ordinary people become extraordinary through the power of fun-based learning. That's how I define my mission. So that's my mission. Now, when I'm so passionate about, helping ordinary people become extraordinary, then I start applying the right kind of sales pitch, the sales process. Then I create those kind of products. Then I use the right kind of techniques. So I think first of all, every entrepreneur, before they set a money goal, they should have their philosophy set. Why am I in this business? Is the business, I am in this business only to make money? Or I am in this business to make a difference to people's lives? So I would suggest every entrepreneur should read a book by Simon Sinek called as Start With Why. It's a brilliant book. It's one of the best management books that I have read. And there are quite a few wonderful management books that are around. But this is one of the finest because he gives examples of Steve Jobs, Apple, Starbucks. Like they say that Starbucks when it became Starbucks and it came because of Howard Schultz, who was an employee of Starbucks who went on to become the CEO of Starbucks. He said that coffee is just an alibi for people to come together. So we are really not in the business of coffee. We are in the business of building a community of people who want to come together. It's a beautiful thought. And that's what we're missing in COVID times. We are not able to go to a coffee shop so easily now, sit around with friends and have a chat. And it's such a deep feeling. And that's a beautiful mission. So all great businesses have a great mission. So the sales comes once the mission is clear. And then you start applying the sales process, the segmenting of the target market, then what products to create, what pitches to give, how to handle objections. So then all that happens. So I think it's always first thing first. First things first is put the mission before the commission. If every entrepreneur can crack that, And this is the time to crack that, because right now businesses are down. Many businesses are down. People are going through tough times. But I think if your philosophy is clear, your why is strong, your purpose is strong, whatever the situation, you will find a way to work around it.
True,
You may
absolutely
make a
correct.
little less money, but I think what we have to learn from the just concluded India Australia test series is, in the Sydney test match, the third test, India saved themselves with a draw. And it was one of those remarkable draws. 4 sessions they batted. It doesn't happen these days. Test matches don't enter the fourth day also very often now.
True,
But they
true.
ended up saving the test match, surviving that day, so that they were alive for the next test match and an opportunity to win the series, which they did today. But if they had lost at Sydney, they'd given it up. And they were taking blows all over the body, short pitch, injuries, not able to run, but sheer grit, determination, resilience. If right now, every entrepreneur must remember the Sydney test match. Maybe watch the Sydney test match highlights hundreds of times if required, and see the defense. Right now, let's defend. Somehow, let's make this sale happen, that sale happen. Let's push ourselves. When things turn around, we will be the ones who will go to Brisbane and we will win the test series. you know but if you lose at Sydney, and right now it's Sydney for the whole world, the ball is turning, it's jumping, it's bouncing, you're getting hit. We got to survive these times, and right now we got to do sales to survive and not plan big things. You try to plan too many big things, it will not happen. You'll get demotivated, you'll fall flat, you'll make wrong decisions. Right now, just get by this year, maybe next one more year. Get by. There is food on the table, family, everybody is healthy. Just be thankful to God, move on. Don't plan big things. Stop talking big things. It's landed us in trouble.
True, absolutely correct. Many, you
Yeah.
know, you have said multiple things in this one, and it reminds me of one thing. Don't start a business, start a mission and convert into business.
Very
So,
well said. Thank you so much for that. Many
so
people ask me, so you're an entrepreneur? I said, I'm not an entrepreneur because I want to make money. I'm an entrepreneur because I want to live my mission.
true, true,
And
true.
I could not have lived my mission in the job. That's the only reason I quit my job.
Absolutely right.
But so if every person who's working for somebody else can find a mission in that job, that's it. Your job is done. It's not that you have to leave your job and start a business. Not
True,
required at all.
true, absolutely right.
Wherever you can find your purpose, then live that purpose.
Absolutely, because the purpose
You know,
only brings the happiness, inner happiness. Basically, what we are
absolutely.
talking about, and when we are internally happy, there is no stress, and we are happy for no
Yes.
reason, which you were talking about, like couple of
And
questions
and
ago.
PG, even if there is stress, then it is self-created.
True, 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 true.
Uh, because I want to live my mission, I push myself.
But
So
that
I'm,
see,
I'm happy with that
yes,
stress.
because that is a fuel. That is a kind
Yeah,
of power which is improving a
absolutely.
person, right? Which is, see, if
Very true.
somebody's mission is to help someone to become healthy, right, or like
Yes.
like the whole family is a healthy person. So first of all, he needs to become healthy, right? Then only he can able
Absolutely.
to tell or transform his family, right? So
True.
this stress is good. Absolutely, we can.
Yes, this is happy stress.
Right,
Yeah.
this is a heavy stress.
This is happy stress.
Right, true.
Yeah.
All right. When we are talking about the stress, the entrepreneurs they are bombarded with stress. So, what is the simplest way to get rid of the stress in business?
I think you can never get rid of stress in business. So, if you accept that, you will be de-stressed. So, because the stress creates the stress. So, like a lot of people tell me, you're 11 years, and typically we are all freelancers. We are not that typical entrepreneurs. We're still trying to become one. Uh, but as a freelancer, typically you would last for 3 years, 4 years, then maybe you'll still go. On an average, people go back to a job within 3 to 4 years. But I've been there around, by the grace of God, for still doing this business for last 10, 11 years. So many people tell me that you must be such a settled entrepreneur. Now life is set. I said, that's the problem with entrepreneurship. The only time you settle is when you die. So, so, so because even Mukesh Ambani is not settled. He's the richest man in India, but even he is not settled. So the bigger the business, bigger the problems. And he has a much bigger sales problem than you and me. We don't have to sell so much, but he has to sell so much.
True, absolutely
because
right.
he has to recover his investments.
True,
He
true,
has
true,
to pay his employees,
true.
thousands of employees. He has so many other commitments. You and me don't have that. So if you think you have a sales problem, dial Mukesh Ambani and ask, are you tracking the sales figures for today? Yes, by the hour. By the hour, these big guys are tracking because if sales is not happening, business cannot move.
True.
So I don't think you can ever get out of stress in business. But it has more or less, it has to be a happy stress because you're living a mission. But there would be some bad stress also, which you have to take it as a package. You cannot deny that. But one way to minimize the complexities is to scale up your business. And to scale up, you need people.
Right, right. In
You
fact,
need
when you're
good. Yes.
yeah, when you're talking about Mukesh Ambani, it reminds me when he, like when he started Jio, and he has taken this mission of reaching to 10 crore people. So that was a
Right.
big, at that time he was giving his services absolutely free of cost. So that was the main
Yes.
thing which reminds me, which collaborates your two answers together. That when we are
Right.
passionate, when we are on a mission, right, then the stress is no more. So if you're having a stress, it's a
Yes.
good stress, right? And as an entrepreneur, a person cannot get rid of the stress anymore. But if he's on a mission, if he's passionate, then automatically he will convert things into a sales. He will come out with any of
Absolutely.
the solutions. Very, very rightly.
And I tell, if I might just add to what you're saying, a lot of people become entrepreneurs for the wrong reasons.
Right, right.
Uh, they become an entrepreneur because they want freedom from that Khadu's boss in the office, or they just don't like being working for somebody else, or they just feel that I'm too good for these guys. I should start on my own. I think if you bring in ego as a reason to become an entrepreneur, it's a wrong reason. You want to run away from your boss, so you want to become an entrepreneur. It's a wrong reason. Find a better boss. Find a better job. Find a better environment to work. Find a better company. Don't become an entrepreneur because you don't like being somewhere. Become an entrepreneur because this is where you like to be. That's it. Not because you hate being there. So I find a lot of people become entrepreneurs for the wrong reasons and they don't have the right kind of mission statements. Their purpose is just to get away. And eventually you will end up from where you came because you have not trained yourself to be here. You don't belong here. You don't belong here.
True.
And that belongingness does not come so easily. It's like playing your first cricket test match. You don't belong to it from day one. You will take your time. You will make mistakes. You
True.
will learn. You will play 5 test matches. Then you will start feeling a part of it.
True. 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 Absolutely right.
So entrepreneurship is exactly like that. It's true for any sport, whether it's football or hockey, badminton. You don't start feeling a part of it from day one. It takes time.
It takes time. Right.
It takes
Uh,
time.
in one of your book, you have mentioned about the commandments of effective sellings. So, what
Yes.
exactly are the commandments of effective selling? What exactly is that?
So it's a pretty long list. I call it the ACPP formula:
Okay.
attitude, communication, professionalism, and I think passion. So
Okay.
something on those lines. So basically, I talk about the different attributes that are required to become a good salesperson. So first of all, I mean it's a big topic in itself. But while you read the book, you can read it quickly. But when one has to enumerate or explain it, it will take a much longer time. But I'll just give 2, 3 essential aspects to it.
Okay.
I think the first and foremost, the most important thing for a salesperson is his attitude. If he goes with an ego, and I remember one of my clients once told me, entrepreneurs must keep their ego in the trouser pocket, not in their shirt pocket. Because if it's in the shirt pocket, it's very close to your heart. And you will never be successful. But if it's a trouser pocket, it does not matter.
It will not come out.
Because the emotions are not connected to that. But it's close to your heart. So I think first of all, a salesperson must have the right attitude. And when I say the right attitude, it's how you respond to adverse situations, how you respond to failures. Do you start blaming the world, or you start taking responsibility for your situation in life? In Reiki, that's the first thing we teach. Take responsibility for your life. Don't blame others. Am I responsible for all my problems in life? I did not create COVID, so I'm not responsible for it. But do I need to take responsibility for my life because of COVID? Yes.
Yes, absolutely right.
I did not create it, so I'm not responsible for it.
That is something
But do I
outsourced,
need
but
to take responsibility?
right, absolutely. Like we can take
I need to
responsibility.
take responsibility.
Of course, then only we can save ourselves and we can save our family.
Absolutely. I have to wear my mask. I have to sanitize. I have to be careful. So this is my responsibility. But I'm not responsible for that problem. But I'm responsible for myself and my family and the society that I'm living in.
True.
So that's the first thing for a salesperson.
Okay.
And I think sales is not so much about selling. It's more about educating. So educate first, sell later is one of the commandments.
Wow.
So first educate people about what you are trying to do. People don't connect to your product. They connect to you. They connect to your mission. They connect to your values. They connect to your purpose. And I think there is this phrase, I don't know whether you will agree with me or not, but there is this phrase which says, fake it till you make it.
Yeah, of course,
So,
of course.
so I have given it a twist. I say that if you fake it, then when you make it, the only thing that will be left is the fake part.
True, true, true.
So when I use the wrong process to make it, I cannot become genuine when I made it. The means are as important as the end. So you don't have to fake it till you make it.
True,
You be who you are.
true.
Of course, you don't have to reveal everything about yourself to everyone, but then there has to be a level of genuinity. And I think we need far more genuine salespeople today. You need people who do value selling, not product selling,
True.
not target based selling. मेरा target पूरा करना है यार, किसी तरह धक्का मार के करो. No. And my boss used to tell us, I want this sale by hook or by another hook.
Okay.
Not by crook. One of the finest leaders that I have worked under. And he said that I want this sale